Section 126 of Childhood's Favourites and Fairy Stories. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Joe Pillsbury. Childhood's Favourites and Fairy Stories by various authors. Section 126, The Fox Without a Tail. One day, a fox was out walking when suddenly he heard a loud snapping noise and felt a sharp pain in his rear. "Ah!" howled the fox, tears coming to his eyes. "That hurts! Ow!" The fox looked behind him and saw his tail was caught in a trap. He struggled and struggled to get free, but his tail was firmly stuck in the jaws of the trap. With one last frantic effort, the fox used all of his strength and broke free. "Ow!" howled the fox as he looked behind him and saw his tail still stuck in the trap. All he had left was a little stump on his backside. "My tail, my beautiful fluffy tail! What will I do?" he cried. "How will I face all the other foxes without my beautiful tail? It will be so embarrassing." The fox thought and thought and finally came up with a plan. He called all the other foxes together for a meeting. When the other foxes saw the little stump on his backside, they began to laugh. "I've cut my tail off on purpose, and I want you all to do the same," he yelled over the laughter. "A large tail is much more trouble than it's worth," he shouted. "When we're being chased by dogs it gets in the way, and when we're together for a talk you never know what to do with it. Do you wrap it around your feet? Do you sit on it? Or do you leave it out for someone to trip over?" asked the fox. "So now is the time to free yourself from your tail and join me in the tailless society." One of the older foxes shook his head and said, "You wouldn't be saying that if you still had a beautiful tail. You're only saying that of your own self-interest and because you're embarrassed." All the other foxes walked off laughing with their big bushy tails proudly pointing upwards. The moral of the story is, do not trust someone with self-interest. End of section 126. Recording by Joe Pillsbury.